Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friends of the Force, a Star Wars podcast. I'm your host, Brad.
And I'm your host, Sarah.
And this week on the show, we are journeying to a galaxy far, far away on our very own Star Tour ship with guest Tommy Stella. Tommy, welcome. You're the fellow Star Wars fan in our community, comic book writer, Droopy McCool, #1 fan, and now you're here on the podcast. Friends of the Force first timer.
I am number two fan. I have to give credit to what's his name? Like Huppabloom. If I take the #1 Droopy McCool fan credit, I'll be a fake. I'll be ashamed. So I can't do that. But thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Now
One of
you
Droopy's
can
big
add...
fan, co-president of the Droopy McCool fan club, and very humble, incredibly humble. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk about Star Wars. This thing I just learned about.
Yeah, we just learned about it too. So we're in good company.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
It's just like really exciting. Like, what is Tatooine? That's what we're actually addressing. Actually, in this episode.
I assume they
today.
give tattoos there.
That's what I thought too. So we're gonna find out. Yeah.
I think someone mispronounced tattooing. And at some point they were like, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
You know, now that I think about it, there's been a very big missed opportunity in Star Wars for somebody not to have a tattoo of Tatooine, so they can say it's my Tatooine tattoo. I don't know. I just thought about that. Lucasfilm, you should put that in your book or something. I don't know.
Tattoo parlor called Tatooine.
Tatooine tats?
Yeah.
Right. I did do bar trivia like last week, and one of like the final question was like how many Star Wars movies have C-3PO and R2-D2 not been in, and I got it right, but I stressed for a while on that one. Actually, I felt like I was going to bring down the whole team if I got it wrong and lose my Star Wars card, and like the people at work know me as a Star Wars fan, so like that would have been embarrassing. But also there was another Star Wars question, and it was like, where is like the real life location of Tatooine? And I was like, what are you saying? Legitimately, like just a pronunciation that I did not understand until it came up on the screen. I was like, oh, this is a Star Wars question. I got it. So, the tattooing thing, and wow, my brain is not happening. The tattooing thing is happening. The mispronunciations actually.
We love our tongue twisters. Yeah.
Yeah. No. The location of that's probably somewhere in Portland where there's a lot of tattoo parlors.
Exactly.
Someone's got it. There was where I used to work at a barbecue restaurant, and down the street there was a vape store called Darth Vapor.
Oh my God.
That made my day. They called in once. It came up on like the little caller ID. They're placing an order, and just a Darth Vapor. And I was like, this is awesome.
That's very clever.
Like, I don't know if I should pick up the phone, or I don't know who this is.
It was immediately the most boring person possible. They're like,
dang.
Wings, please. And I was like, oh man, you're not Darth Vader or a vapor. That's so boring.
I love that. But yeah, we're so excited because today we're doing a very special episode. Because Tommy, you and I were talking at New York Comic Con. We were talking about our shared love of Star Tours, and as many of you know, Sarah and I have been on Star Tours so many times together, specifically 8 times at the last Celebration Anaheim location. And we just wanted to merge our worlds together and talk about Star Tours, and specifically, we're building our own Star Tours adventure together here today. So we're going to get into that very shortly. Tommy, before we get started too, I want to, I guess, learn a little bit more about you for some of our listeners, but like, what's your journey with Star Wars been like? When did you become a fan, and like, what does it mean to you in your current day and age?
I think as a 29-year-old, like most 29-year-olds, my love of it started when George Lucas spent $1 billion to put it in every single store in 1999. I was like, what's this? And then my mom was like, do you want a toy? And I was like, this little blonde kid looks interesting. What's his deal? And then I just owned an young Anakin action figure who didn't do anything. It was just a little boy, but I was a little boy. So then I got some lightsabers. We saw the movie. I was like, I don't get what this is all about, but I got to hit my friend with a lightsaber. That's cool. The pod racing was fun for my 6-year-old brain. I got a Jar Jar Binks doll that my grandpa bought for me, and it was you would squeeze it in and go, wow. And that was the toy. And I was like, this is doing it for me. This is all I need. And then I just kept watching them, and it was good. I didn't really watch the original trilogy for a long time because I was like, I think the last one came out or the third one came out, I was 10, and that's when I learned how franchises worked. And I was like, oh, there's more? My mom was like, yeah, no, there's more. But I did learn that the big twist in Empire Strikes Back, everyone knows. I learned that because I was playing with my Anakin toy, and my mom was like, that's Luke's father. And I was like, what does that mean, Mom? And she's like, that's the guy, the other guy that you see in the toys. That's his dad. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then that's how I found out. That was my big reveal moment. So Star Wars means a lot to me. It's been a lot of fun. I am a product of George Lucas's planning. I've fallen for every single marketing thing, and I will continue to fall for most of them as long as I have $1 in my pocket. And then people who listening know me from tweets, mostly tweets. I'm the Drooping McCool guy. Viewers at home, you're listening. He's in my frame. I hit him on the floor in the background. He's my little guy.
Why is he your little guy? Like, what is it about Droopy? Because I feel like I didn't know a lot about Droopy until you just started tweeting a lot about him, and now I feel like I like Droopy.
There's too little to know about him, if we're being honest. I've said it before, I'll fully admit it. It started off, haha, funny name, as it should. And then I looked into it, and I just, besides like this is not a bit anymore. We're out of bit territory, which I know is rare. We're leaving bit territory. And I looked, I mean, there's not much on him. So I go to his Wikipedia, where there's a paragraph and a half. Hopefully one day there's more, but it just says, his name is a series of flute-like whistles, and his real name is Snit, SNIT. I don't even acknowledge that he smells like vanilla. People always just mention that. It's like, big whoop. Everyone smells like something. Can we stop talking about it? But the thing that caught me with him is he plays music, and he plays the flute. I forgot the name of the it's like Chindaku Lao flute, whatever it's called. And the flute sounds like his voice, like his language is a series of flute-like whistles, and he plays the flute. And I think in the very sparse, it's probably Legends, I think, material on him. He didn't really have a family, and he was trying to find family. And I think he went out into like the Dune Sea to do so, or something like that. That's where they last left him. And I like the idea that this guy who's trying to find his family picks up an instrument that sounds like his own voice, but louder and projected. So it just like, it's when I was younger in high school, I used to play like guitar, piano, singing, and all that. And it was a way for me to like figure out who I was, because it was the first like purpose and community I ever had. And that's like the only time I've seen in just like generic franchise media, like a character who picked up the arts to like be an extension of themselves in that kind of way. So it started out as a bit. It's the Mr. Brightside. Had it ended up like this? Had it end up like this? It was only a bit, but yeah. So now I want to write the Droopy McCool comic, because there's depth to him. There's a much needed lore to be expanded upon. And he's McCool. He's McCool. He's McCool.
If it makes you feel any better, I also feel the same thing about like the thing that I champion, which is the K's Wrath device, which is, it was in 2 issues of the Poe Dameron comics. And it's just a device that Laura Santeca, just finds in a Katie Nemoidia vault, and a dark side light user and a light side user have to come together to use it. And that's it. That's all we know about it. And that's my thing.
No, that's good. One day.
One day it's just like a little sphere. Like, I don't know. Just it's like vibes. I don't know.
It's just a little guy. Yeah.
It's just a little guy.
I love when Star Wars, you have like the bit and you're like championing the bit with a character, and then it, like Tommy with you and Droopy, it's just like not a bit anymore. And that's it's a very freeing feeling, because now you can like, you're not just standing the character out of comedy. You're like, no, I know everything about this character, and I love him more than anything.
Exactly. And that's also been me with Nubs recently, which came out of nowhere. Someone appointed me like the Nubs representative at some point. I don't know why. I'm not saying no to it. I'll take it. But that came out. I don't feel like that's deserved. There's probably more Nubs fans than me. There's probably a lot of toddlers that could deserve that space more than me, but they're just not on Twitter.
We should just create like an official Nubs fan club, and toddlers are welcome. And at our hangouts, we just get all our little Nubs toys and just like do little lightsaber stuff, like I think that'd be kind of fun and silly. Nubs is a legend and an icon, so
yes,
I was very excited to see the comic that preview of, I guess, something for next year that has Nubs in court. And that's like Nubs in court. Nubs in
Free
court.
Comic Book Day comic.
This is beautiful.
By Daniel.
Oh, I think you
so
said
excited.
court. I think you said Nubs in court, like he was like on like jury duty or something. Well, I'm literally looking at the picture right now.
Honestly, that would be a fascinating story too. I'm really down for that. That'd be really fascinating. But yeah, Nubs in court, QORT.
Nubs committed tax fraud. Going down.
Imagine being the guy on trial and you're just like, oh God, who's going to be the 12th juror? And then like out walks Nubs and he's just like he's just speaking nonsense that you can't understand. You're just like, oh God, no,
what a legend.
What's going to happen here? He's just like eating the bench, chewing on it. Yeah. Anyway. I love Nubs. I love the Jake Bartok art that he's been drawing for you as well on Twitter, where the sword just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
That was really good.
And it's such a good meme at this point. Very, very good meme.
If I'm remembered for one thing, I want it to be that interaction I had with Jake. He's a gem. I love him so much. And I think there's still we maxed out the sword sticking out of Starlight Beacon. I think there's more. There's more sword to be had.
There's more room.
Yeah, Jake's too much of a coward. Finish the sword. I hope he listens to this. But yeah, no, I that's why I love this community, because we can make the biggest swords known to man. You know, that's the real magic of Star Wars is just the largest sword you could possibly dream of, and I think that's what George Lucas was going for when he created Star Wars.
He was, yeah. It was. George's influence has been felt for generations. That's for sure. Yeah, and that's why we're here today.
Segue, Brad.
That's why we're here today. Star Wars is a beautiful thing. Big swords, but even bigger adventures, because we're talking about Star Tours, and that's my segue.
You're not allowed to bring swords in Star Tours. That's a big rule that they have. No swords. Yeah.
No swords on this ride. Very dangerous. Very pointy. Very sharp. Don't want anybody getting prodded on the ride. So yeah, we're gonna build our own Star Tours adventure. Tommy, I want to ask you, like, why do you love Star Tours? Because I know you're a parks goer. We talked about the parks quite a bit. You told me that you have like a really good like photographic memory of the parks, like where things are situated, and like, so I feel like you're kind of a veteran of parks, but specifically Star Tours. What do you love about it?
Oh yeah, no, I've put my blood, sweat, and tears on It's a Small World. I drop it in the water as I go through. I think it's. I'm immediately gonna, once again, we're out of bit territory here. I think like Star Tours itself was really like the start of the like theme park immersive experience as we kind of know it today. Like, I'm sure I'm wrong on this, but I feel like it was it was made in, I think, the early 80s in Disneyland, somewhere around then, and then the late 80s or early 90s in Florida. But it was like the first place where like the second you enter the building, like you're just in parody of Star Wars at the time. You know, it was a travel agency, but still amazing. You see the ship, you see C-3PO, you see R2-D2. There's just it's sweaty people in there, but it's like you're in the world immediately. And even though we have had 30 plus years of like crazy theme park expansion since then, like every time you still go into Star Tours, especially if it's your first time going in there, there's still like that moment of just like, whoa, like the ride already started. Let's go. Here we go. Look at all this stuff I can look at. And as someone who just goes to theme parks a lot, I just really appreciate that like beginning of history where they were just like, we have to go crazy. We have to, George Lucas flew over here. We got to impress him. Like, let's go really hard on this. And even though it makes a lot of people feel really sick afterwards, I'm very appreciative of it. And I just like how it feels like such an adventure from like beginning to end. Like the music's always playing. There's always like something to look at. It's just 10 out of 10.
I agree. It's honestly magic. Like, yes, we have Batuu now, and the immersion kind of as you walk through Batuu and as you go on those rides is something totally different. But there's a certain, like, I think real specialness to Star Tours, and the fact that it kind of does exist in this kind of realm between seriousness and parody, and it's silly, which is it's kind of got that like lighthearted spirit of Star Wars that I think is really kind of infused in there, and not necessarily like in something like the Resistance ride, which I cannot remember the name of. Rise of the Resistance, which is amazing and kind of the greatest thing of all time. The cannons, I don't know, but anyway, it's separate episodes, a separate story. But yeah, no, it's something that I just have so much fun with every single time I ride it, because you don't know what planets you're gonna get necessarily, except unless you figured it out how they do it. And the crowd is a little bit different every time, and it's more fun the more you get into it. And it's like nice to have that sense of whimsy when you go on a ride. You're like, yes, this is silly, and we are going to be silly with it. And I think that's part of what makes it so fun. Also, because we get to go to some of my favorite planets. So big news for Kashyyyk girl Sarah. Like,
yeah, and I also think not only like are you transporting to the Star Wars galaxy, but you're also, I guess, just in the terms of the cultural impact of Star Wars, I feel like every time I step on it, I'm like getting transported back to like the 90s, like into my childhood when I first went on Star Tours, and like remember the first time I saw the big AT-AT in Universal or Hollywood Studios.
How
Universal.
dare you?
What am I thinking? What am I
What is that
thinking?
trash?
Get out of here.
Potter fan? Get out of here.
Oh my God. Hollywood Studios, and like seeing that for the first time and then getting to go on Star Tours. So I just love that it still has that a vintage appeal to it. The 35th anniversary, I went just so crazy with the purchasing of 35th merch and like patches and all the crap, because I'm a shill for Star Tours now. But I think it's just so cool that they've kept it around too, and even gave Rex a new job in the cantina, and in Batsu and Oga's cantina. So, and speaking of Rex too, R.I.P. to Paul Rubens, who is the voice of Rex. So that was very sad. Yeah, I'm just glad it's still around, and I hope they never like try to repurpose it for anything, because that would be a huge loss.
I would very happily take the old one back for a little bit. I wish they had like the easily swap. I mean, the screen-based rides that they technically could, but they would have to put Rex back into it, which I feel like would not be worth the effort for them. But I would turn one of the Star Tours vehicles back into the old ride, and that would just be amazing. 10 out of 10. Let's go.
Have one side.
That's, I think, the one thing. Yeah, exactly. That's the one complaint I have, is that save a little bit of it. They don't got to turn all. They don't even use all of them every day. Put one of them back to the other one. Charge us. I'll charge me $300 to ride it. I'll save up. I have a credit card. I'll make it happen.
Honestly, I just need like the Star Tours only ticket. Like, get me into the park. I'll buy the food, whatever. But I'm literally just gonna ride Star Tours for like 10 hours. I would do it, but I don't know if it's, I can't spend that much time inside touring around to different planets. I do have to get some vitamin D. So,
Tommy, have you been on any Star Tours rides outside the US?
I did Disneyland Paris. I went there before Celebration, and I did the Parisian Star Tours, which is very similar to the American one. They don't take you to the Eiffel Tower. It's basically the same ride, which is kind of a bummer. But still cool. I like that they have a big X-Wing out front. That's about the main change, and a long hallway to get in. They make you earn it. You can't just walk in and be on the ride. You got to go down a long hallway, and then around a corner, and then I think around another corner, and then you're in Star Wars.
But you were in Paris, like, your takeoff location was different. You were in Paris,
True.
So like different vibes.
True. I forget if C-3PO did speak French now. I'm pretty sure. So, which is that's more in line with his character. He's a very French man. So it did make it more real in my eyes. But I did end up getting the same 4 planets I always get, which was kind of a bummer. I thought Paris might switch it up. So the ride's a lot of fun if you really like the sequel planets, but the ones that feel very much like a commercial for the movies, because that's what they were initially created for, which I'm cool with. I'm fine with them, but I want new planets. That's what I want to run someone's pod racer over. It's been years.
We had to earn it when we were there, Sarah. It took us so many attempts. That's why we went 8 times, because we're like, we cannot get Kef Beer another time, or I will become the Joker.
The reality
happens.
is that we were really going for 9 times. So 3 times per day that we were there.
Yeah,
we did
yeah.
3 separate kind of entries into the park. We didn't get 9 times. We were kind of up against the last minute there, 11:59, close of the park. It's sad. We'll do it again next time. It'll be fine. It'll be cool. We'll make up for it. We'll ride it 9 more times,
In Tokyo, hopefully.
But yeah, well,
Hey.
money. But I really enjoyed our Naboo get, which did take
Ooh.
a while, and then we
Uh-huh.
took. I think there were 5 of us on that ride, and we did take a photo afterwards. We were so excited in front of the Naboo poster because this was the Naboo crew. It was very serious for us.
good.
Yeah. That was a good
We
payoff.
yelled a lot.
Confused everyone on board.
We were just like, we.
So like these people really like this ride.
We did.
I did the Disney After Dark or After Hours event with my girlfriend a few years ago. And one of the selling points in my brain was, I could just walk on Star Tours over and over again and get every single ride or every single like combination of planets, hopefully. We did it 3 times, had the exact same combination of every single option every time. It just looped it. I was so mad.
Oh my gosh.
But the one highlight was they also gave out free popcorn during the event. And when we went into our Star Tours vehicle, like imagine a lot of popcorn. Now double that and put it on the ground of the Star Tours ride. It was just someone just got popcorn, just went like as they were going on the ride and just shot it everywhere. So as we were on the Star Tours ride, there was just like popcorn bouncing around us. It was very funny. Highly recommend. Don't do it yourself, but if you happen to stumble upon a popcorn covered Star Tours ride vehicle, get on. It's fun. Don't worry about it.
I mean, that's pretty cool. You might be one of the only people in the galaxy who's been on the popcorn Star Tours ride. That's a pretty cool claim to fame.
Yeah, put it on Wikipedia. I think we got to start keeping track of that.
It's important stuff.
On that same night, we did Tower of Terror, and some girl sat on the ride vehicle with just an open thing of popcorn, and the guy was like checking seatbelts, and he like checked her, and then like walked away, and then walked back, and he was like, "You can't bring that on here." Like he questioned like her whole entire like existence in that moment. And he was like, "What do you?" He like grabbed it from her. He's like, "No, you can't have an open thing of pop. It goes up and down." And it was very funny. He left with her popcorn. It was great.
Well, that's unfortunate for her, but better for everybody else. They didn't like walk around with like a single kernel of popcorn in their, like hoodie of their jacket or whatever. Free popcorn, but not one you'd want to eat. Anyway, we are here to battle it out and create the best Star Tours ride imaginable. This is a competition. The points do matter. There are assigned points, very specific rules. This is a trivia contest too. So if we don't get every single thing right, we are not allowed to ever say the word Star Wars ever again. So the stakes are really high. Just kidding. Of course not. That's not our vibe. Our vibe is like, we're very, who's lying around here? It's all made up. Points don't matter. We are going to give ourselves 6 options. So this is like a super mega stacked Star Tours ride. This is the real Star Tour.
Mm-hmm.
The
Star Tour to all Star Tours.
Exactly. And so we are going to come up with planets from various categories. We have High Republic, prequels, original, sequels, TV, and then wild card. And we are going to come up with the best possible combination of Star Tours planets. We can only claim a planet once. So if one of us says, for instance, Tatooine, then none of us can use Tatooine in any of our other categories again. If a planet appears in more than one category, some planets show up in multiple eras, such as Tatooine. It's so funny that we can really use this as an example every time. They should maybe keep using it. I think we should keep putting Tatooine in things.
We need more
really
Tatooine. There hasn't been enough
appeal.
Tatooine. Yeah.
Right. If it shows up in multiple eras, you can claim it for whatever era you want. It doesn't have to be, with the first thing that you associate it off the top of your head with. What are the other rules?
Other rules is we'll establish a draft order, and because I have fantasy football brain rot, we're gonna do a snake draft. So for instance, if the order
is it only letters or only planets that begin with the letter S, like we're snakes?
Yes.
Okay.
So it'll be for instance, if the order is Sarah, Brad, Tommy, we would go Sarah, Brad, Tommy, and then Tommy, Brad, Sarah. It's like a snake, it goes like that. Down the list. Yeah.
Right.
Snake order. It's a classic.
Right.
It's a classic.
Uh-huh.
And then we're also going to have a bonus question, which Tommy, we came up with this 5 minutes before we started, so apologies. At the very end, you can choose who you want your pilot to be. So if you have a character, I feel like I might know where you're going to lean, but maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe we'll both be surprised on who you choose. But maybe you're predictable. Who knows? We'll find out. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I have a website that I pulled up. It's just like a draft order random generator.
He's so serious right now.
I know, because I didn't know how else to do it. Thank you, Google, very much. And I just put our 3 names in here, and I'm gonna click generate draft order right now. And the draft order is Tommy goes first, and then it's me, and then it's Sarah. So
okay.
But see, this is the benefit, Sarah. Even though you go last,
Then
you
I
get to go first the next round. That's
Great.
why the draft order, the snake order, is pretty great. So
I have a question before we start.
We have an
Absolutely.
answer.
Oh God. When we're thinking of the planets that we're going to, in Star Tours, you don't really like go to the planets. You kind of just do like quick chaotic layovers in them.
Mhm.
Are we implying that like we're stopping there and hanging out, or is it just like a fly through? Like the hijinks are going to happen.
See,
Like what's going on?
this
time
is
for-
your Star Tour. What?
so true.
This it gets to be whatever you want it to be.
Can we
That-
also, one more thing, can we add in, you have to get a transmission from a random character in Star Wars and you get to pick who that is?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Random
And they only have time for
transmission.
one. They're busy.
They're
Oh my
busy.
gosh. Okay. So we'll
Cool.
do the first 3 categories, and then we'll do the random
Oh.
transition to break up, and then we'll do the next 3, and then the pilot. I
Cool.
like that.
And
I
the
like
random
that, Tommy.
transition has to be in like lore of what you're talking about. You can't just be like,
Ooh.
and then Luke comes in and is like, oh,
okay.
you're
I guess
pretty
we're-
cute. I'm Luke. Oh, and then he leaves. Like, it has to be in like the lore of what you're doing.
All right.
Cool. And another one.
I love it.
Yes.
Let's go.
Someone has to be hunting you because that's what
Okay.
happens in the ride.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
hunting
Okay,
us?
I
Yeah.
think that covers
We
everything.
can't
Oh.
just be here for vibes, even if you are setting up for vibes, because I am the
Mhm.
target audience of my own Star Tour. So
Yes.
if you know me, it's like this is about to be incredibly predictable unless you take my planets. But
Oh my gosh, I'm a little scared. Okay, so we're gonna
Okay.
open with the villain that's hunting us. So we'll let's start there. That's a great one. I will also say, if you have any fun ideas as we're talking of like, oh, like this should go through the windshield, or like you should see this thing on your Star Tours, like any like fun tidbits that you want to include. Again, it's your adventure. Include what you want, or if you
I
don't
have another
know anything.
one.
If you
Let's
don't have
do
anything
it.
besides like, oh, I like Mustafar, that's it. That can be fine too.
Cool. I got one more thing we got to do. You have to
Yes.
name the 8-year-old child who's your rebel spy. Just give them a name. Give them a
Okay.
name.
Okay.
Um,
Name of 8-year-old child.
who is the
Great.
rebel spy? Cool. Or resistance spy. Depends what area you're
Okay.
doing.
I love that. Okay.
Cool.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
who's my
All
villain?
right, hold on. Let me make sure I got all the rules. Okay.
The time periods don't matter since we're going anywhere, so you can pick your villain, if whoever.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think.
My villain is Jabba the Hutt, but in the deleted scene where he's just a guy. So he just comes out. Everyone's kind of like, who's this guy? And then he's like, it's me, Jabba. 'Cause I think he spoke English in the deleted scene.
Right.
And then everyone goes, oh, and hey, bud. And then he starts throwing milk at you. I don't know what his character would do. He's kind of
I like
slimy.
milk.
Yeah. And it splatters on the screen, and then the windshield wipers comes and wipe it off.
Is that like the green milk that's in like his little thing next to his throne where the little
Yeah.
creature's in?
There you go.
Like that's his
Yeah, yeah.
milk.
We're putting together
He
plot.
always, he always has a refillable Stanley cup of green milk next to him that Bib Fortuna, who isn't Bib Fortuna because it's in the deleted scene. He's just some guy again. It could be a George Lucas cameo. George Lucas was originally going to cameo as Bib Fortuna, and he feeds green milk to Jabba, who is a human. Right? Are you writing this down?
Is that real? Is that actual Star Wars fact right there? That's
Yeah, sure. Who cares? I don't care.
oh my gosh. That's canon. We can make it canon. I think anything
Yeah.
can be canon here today. That's
I'll
the
tell
wonderful part.
Wikipedia. I'll tweet that at Wikipedia. I'm friends with him. It's good.
Hey,
He'll be cool
Wikipedia,
with
I
it.
think you forgot something on your Jabba the Hutt page. Here, let me send you
You
a
didn't
very
mention.
long
You didn't
email.
mention George feeds milk. George, don't forget George feeds milk.
All right, Brad.
All right.
Okay, so Tommy has selected Jabba the Hutt, specifically the special edition Jabba the Hutt.
No, not the special
Or
edition.
the
Deleted scene.
The deleted
The special
scene
edition Jabba the Hutt is a crime against humanity. That's the
Right.
That's the super CGI'd one. We don't like that one.
Correct. The guy behind the
That's the
scene,
one
the
where
man behind the
Han
curtain,
steps on
Jabba the Hutt.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
I like that specification there. That's fantastic.
Can you change it to Jabba the Guy?
Jabba the Guy. Yes.
Yeah, that's
Jabba
the
the
official
Guy.
name for him.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Right, who's your villain?
Oh my god. Okay.
Great start.
I'm gonna make my villain just for the sake of recency bias. Marchion Ro. Marchion Ro is gonna be my villain. And
how spread are his legs when he approaches the ride vehicle?
He's very spread. So like when the ride opens and he like floats up on the little platform thing with all of his Nile behind him in the hangar bay, he's like literally like that photo, that AI photo that person drew the other day where the girl has the sword and her like legs are totally not at all what a human leg should look like. That's how spread apart Marchion Ro's legs are. I don't know if anybody understands
simply
that.
not commenting on this.
But that's the only way I could describe it.
Do you remember in
like if you took a Barbie doll and just went like that with its legs, that's the man spread.
Do you know, like in those, I don't know why my brain knows this. Maybe it's not a universal thing to know, but like in like trailers for like 3D movies, or maybe I just know it from like 3D theme park things where they always show like for Filler Magic and Magic Kingdom, they had Ariel like reaching out for part of your world and all the kids are like trying to grab like the diamonds and stuff. It's that, but when Marchion Ro comes out with his legs spread, everyone in the ride vehicle is like, oh my God, like grabbing at the screen. Like, we'll get him.
Yikes.
Our fellow Marchion hoes on the ride. We're like, oh
wow.
God.
Okay.
That's the After Dark version of Star Tours. All the kids have gone home. This is just for the adults.
This is a wild start. I feel like I don't know. I think I'm winning so far. I haven't even named my villain, but my villain is going to be the incredibly popular and universal ITO. Ito. Now this is a very, very specific because this is chapter 18, Shadow Fall by Alexander Freed. I think about this a lot and it traumatized me. Anyway, he was a therapy droid until he wasn't. And sorry for spoilers. And he's a torture. He is an Imperial torture droid. And he's really nice until he's not. And I think that is the vibe we're going to go for. So like you think you're going like on a nice fun time, but Ito puts on his bad cop face and then he's trying to torture you.
Does he come up to the screen and he's like, how do you feel about that? Just kidding. I don't care how you feel. Boom, boom, boom. And he starts shooting you.
That's like kind of the vibe and like is it torture instruments, you know, the whole thing. And yeah.
I like that.
It's not about him. It's not about him though. You know, like he's there, but like this Star Tour is about me and it's not about him. So
gotcha. Maybe because it's like everyone's on vacation, he starts kind of like bringing up family drama. Like, oh, your dad's getting a little gaslighty on this trip. Or like, ooh, Susan slept in this morning and made everyone late for the reservation.
Right.
That's crazy that happened.
And then
he stabs you with a needle.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's kind of the
at least when you're expecting it. Okay, so we have ITO. So we have Jabba the Guy, Marchion Ro, very spread, and ITO as our villains. Okay, Sarah, you have to go next. You get to pick a High Republic planet because we are going in order of the eras, and I'm very afraid right now for this moment. Very, very, very afraid.
If you take mine, I'm leaving the call.
Yeah,
I'm immediately
me too.
leaving the call if you take
That's
mine.
how I was feeling currently.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if I have to end this podcast by myself, so be it. But all roads lead somewhere, and they lead to Dalna, and that's where it's gonna go. Because the reality is that I have to get back at the bet that I lost, which I recognize that I lost the bet, and I'm fine to take the losing side, but I have to make up for it. And that is that my planet is Dalna. Dalna is a very nice, chill planet until it's not. That's kind of the vibe we're going for here. Are we battling? Are we like diving in through the battle between the path of the open hand and the Jedi? Maybe we're just here on a farming day, you know?
Hey, we're white people on vacation. We ignore the stuff going on there all the time. We're gonna drink a margarita and leave. It's all good.
Right. Yikes. Ooh, wow. The truth really just hit there. Yeah. So is it a good day? Is it a bad day on Dalna? We don't know. Depends on how the path is feeling about the state of their existence and how they feel about the Jedi, you know? Shifts and change.
That's a great choice.
That's it. Yeah,
That's a good
Stella.
choice.
Oh my gosh. I feel very relieved right now because I thought you were going to take mine. My choice, as it may come to no surprise to anybody, and it
So
might be a
nervous.
basic choice by my standards, I am choosing Planet X.
Oh my
The
God.
Leveler Homeworld. I hope that wasn't Tommy's, or else he's going to
It
drop
was
the
not.
ball.
No.
Okay, good.
I'm
So
so
we're
much
all
more
safe.
predictable than
He's
that.
still
We're
in
all
the
safe.
call, so I
I
think
know,
we're okay.
so we're good.
Yeah,
we're
no,
good.
we're good.
I'm choosing Planet X because while all roads may lead to Dalna, I think all roads do lead to Planet X as well, because that's where we got to go back to, baby, in phase 3. So I do love my levelers, my nameless, and specifically, I want like a cool sequence where you're like flying through the caves, but also there's a part where a leveler egg cracks the windshield of the Star
Ooh.
Tours ride and then literally hatches, and a leveler
Ooh.
comes out at you at the audience and is like with the little like feeler things that it has on its face. And it's very, very scary.
Eats a child. That's
Just eats
great.
a child.
Eats a CGI child that's sitting next to you. Like the child
and
it's
then-
like a 3D
I'm
effect.
wondering why there's a 3D kid next to me this whole time.
It's augmented reality kid next to you on the ride.
4D, and then you feel the dusty crumbles, you know?
Ooh.
Oh,
They
wait.
used to have a ride in Disney where it was extraterrestrial in Tomorrowland, and at one point in the ride, I don't want to go over explain it. It's an interesting ride. Me explaining it's so boring. An alien gets teleported into a circular theater. It breaks out of the teleporter. It's supposed to be really scary. Michael Eisner created it because his son, I think his son's Brett or something. Brett Eisner was like, "Dad, this place is so boring. We need to kill employees during the day." So
yeah.
the alien escapes.
course.
It goes up into the rafters, and then there's like video footage of an employee trying to find the alien up in the rafters. It's like his police cam. And then the alien gets him, and the whole theater gets sprayed with water as if it's the guy's blood covering everyone in the theater.
Beautiful.
Oh my
This is
God.
this is in Disney World.
In
Um,
Disney.
Was that
Yeah, I say all that. What?
Is that the Lilo and Stitch ride that I?
It is the Lilo and Stitch. Yeah. Now he burps on you. Well, now it's nothing. It's closed down. But
I hated that ride. Fun fact.
it's very smelly. So yeah, I say all that to say when you
Right.
go to Planet X, one of the employees comes in and just covers everyone in sand and dust.
Oh,
Spray you.
yeah.
And they
I
vacuum
love
it up later.
this.
Yeah.
I love this.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's my choice. Tommy, what are you thinking for High Republic?
Vint. I don't think we've ever really gone there, but I'm gonna go to Geo's planet and chill with him. I just double checked it. We have not gone there. We're good. We're good. We have no idea what it's really like. It's probably amazing, and I'm gonna see a concert there. Get it?
Oh, okay. So this is like a stop. This is a stop planet, not a drive-by sort of planet. We're chilling
gonna
for a
stop.
little bit.
Yeah, I think. And then I don't know what else you do there besides be next
Hang.
to a rock.
Hang out.
I assume they party. They probably party.
Geode's a party man.
Geo does, yeah.
So I would assume he can't be the only one.
Maybe they're all sunbathing and they got like the little thing folded out on them, and
They
just
all
sunning shine on them.
They all sit in rivers to lose weight. That's a water irrigation joke.
They're just sitting there.
Over time, get
Right.
slowly
Absolutely.
filed down. Yes,
Yep.
from the salts in the water.
Whoever the pilot is, I would have to make a joke about like, let's see what these beings have to say. And there's just like a very quiet moment on the ride where like nothing's happening, and all of the casual Star Wars fans who don't read the books are just like, what the hell is going on?
Mm-hmm. All the houses are made out of flesh.
Oh my gosh.
That's the natural conclusion of that, right? Because I was thinking like Flintstone houses, but that'd be the people.
Right.
The people would be the houses.
Pretty dark Vint lore for Claudia Gray to drop on us.
Gotta DM Claudia. Like flesh houses, Claudia, please answer me.
I think I'm on to something here.
I'm so excited for Vint. I didn't even look at the prequel era planets. Hold on.
Oh yeah, we're on to the prequels. Yeah.
Coruscant's too easy. I mean, like, can one of you have any of you played the pod racing video game? Because like
yes.
I want to see
You're
a
talking
pod
like
race.
The N64 one.
Yeah, I want to see a pod race, but I don't want to do Tatooine. Because like, been there, done that. But no, I gotta get a real answer. Probably.
I think Malastare has pod racing, right?
Probably.
That showed up somewhere.
Probably.
I don't know.
Canon.
Oh,
Where's
Montal
Ben
would be
Quadraneros
pretty
from?
fun.
His home planet.
Do you think Dathomir likes to party?
I think so. I would say that.
I have no doubts, actually.
I feel like their hotels
actually,
look like.
It's like an underground party scene. The vibe is a little serious, I think, on Dathomir, but like the underground party scene is pretty good.
Gotcha. I think I'm gonna go with Lothal. Lothal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Valid.
I'm gonna go with that. Yeah. Does that count as prequel era?
It counts as whatever era you want it to count for. It was there.
It's in the middle. True, it was there, and it was better probably during the prequel era, right?
That's right.
It got bad during the trilogy. Cool. I'm gonna go with Lothal. Hang out with the cats. I'm gonna smuggle a cat. This is the plan. I'm gonna take a Lothal cat. A loth cat.
I love it. Yeah.
And I'm gonna name it Jabba the Guy. I'm gonna name it Rose Spread. I was looking at our thing from above.
You're named after the guy chasing us, Jabba the Guy. That's when they can really do some good synergy machining synergy machining for the Disney parks, because they can bring on the Loth Cat from Galaxy's Edge. You can just like smuggle him onto the transport.
Oh, that's good.
That way, so you have like a Loth Cat with you after you leave.
Yeah,
Lothal. That's really good.
Or if we name him Rose Spread, we say like, "Son, you were named after the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life."
Oh my gosh.
Hey Brad, what's your pick?
What have I done? See, okay. I have a choice that I feel like there's two options here where I could really make Sarah upset, and I'm trying to figure out which one it is. Like, which button do I need to push? And I think this is the one. I'm gonna choose Utapau because was I close? Was I okay?
That's
I think I pushed the right button.
Was that it?
This one's purely for the meme, and also it's a great choice because you can like go down like the canyons, and I would choose. This is like a drive-by sequence during the Revenge of the Sith scene, and you get like, Boga chasing General Grievous, and you're like flying alongside them, and Boga, you just hear Boga. Yeah, you get that effect. Boga's like yapping in your ears, and it's all great. And you see some clones and stuff. So I think that would be really cool. A lot of untapped Utapau in our Star Wars galaxy.
Would you want to go to see General Grievous's burnt body?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think so. I think that's where we could end. And then like we could see them at the beginning, and then we go do our own thing, and then we end to see like, oh, that's where they ended up. And then you just hear Obi-Wan say, "So uncivilized," and then you fly away.
Yeah. He kind of lingers there. He's kind of like, yeah. I did that. You're welcome.
Okay, that's fine. That's cool. So
no hurt feelings.
It's fine. It's not like Utapau is like on my list at all. As an Utapau fan, Tion Medin, legend, king, love you. I will have to pivot a little bit, but that's okay. I'm unfazed. I'm flexible. I've got options. I love the prequel planets. And we are going to go with one of my favorites. Behind me, which is covered by my face, I have a Wookiee shrine. So we're going to Kashyyyk. Now, Kashyyyk is a very notable Star Tours planet. And here's where I'm going to give Star Tours props. We're not changing a goddamn thing. We're just going to go to that battle. We're going to have fun. We're going to hang out. We're going to...
We're going to change a man's life. Hit him with our car.
I really just battle between Battlefront and Revenge of the Sith. The Wookiees are legends, are icons. That Kashyyyk sequence is excellent. No notes. If again, lots of things are going on in these planets. They've got good days, they've got bad days. I think like if we're not going to go with the original sequence, hanging out with a Wookiee. With the Wookiees on Life Day, I think that'd be great. We're celebrating a holiday together. This is a Star Tour. It's a vacation. And that would be a stop. Otherwise, if they're in the midst of battle, it would not be a stop. It would be like a, oh my gosh, how did we get here situation. So yeah, but Kashyyyk, she's a legend. She's an icon. We love her. Here's my Wookiee shrine.
We would need like Wookiees to like open the doors on the Star Tour stores ride and start bringing in red robes for everybody and like be like, here's your Life Day robe. As the song
is playing for Life Day, yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Why aren't there any Wookiees in Galaxy's Edge, by the way? I don't understand that. How are we not done a Wookiee yet? Yeah. It makes no sense.
I mean, Chewbacca's there, but
That's right.
But he's just one guy. He's just one guy, and he's not even my favorite Wookiee. No
we
offense
need more
to Chewbacca,
NPCs
but he's not my favorite Wookiee.
Galaxy's Edge. Like more.
I want
cast
Lumpy
members
just sprinting around.
Facts.
Just always in a full sprint. Yeah,
just smacking things with a tool constantly.
You gotta like
and
get
then
a
Ray's
selfie
like,
as
why
he's,
did
like,
you
running
break it,
by.
Lumpy?
Where's my dad? I might not exist. It hasn't been confirmed. Oh no.
I think we should. I mean, the time period on Galaxy's Edge clearly doesn't matter anymore. Notes on that another time.
Don't jinx it.
But yeah, I think we should just throw Kersantin in there and Tarful because those are my favorite Wookiees. So, yep.
They should do Wookiee Wednesday. Every Wednesday, you just get a bunch of Wookiees in the park. Everywhere. Like, not even just Galaxy's Edge, just like everywhere. Like Animal Kingdom.
That's super legendary
Hollywood
of you
Studios,
to say.
Yeah. You're just like,
And
did you find your Wookiee today?
And I just want to let Disney parks employees know that, like, I give you permission to take my ideas and to take Brad's ideas. I'm speaking for him. This is our podcast. It's 50-50. I can say whatever I want.
It's true.
So yeah. Take Brad's ideas and make it happen. I'll be there every Wednesday.
Really hairy people get half price tickets. Disney, it's all yours. We're just giving you ideas today.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh, it's me again.
So, yeah, Sarah, you went with the classic. I appreciate that. Your transmission now. So you've done your 3 planets, transmission incoming. This is where the lore comes in, as Tommy said. So we got to really
remember what you've been. I mean, to be honest, Sarah, your Star Tours has been pretty lore-less.
Okay,
you haven't played in the space as much as me and Brad with our weird little guys. And
gotcha. Thank you.
I think
That's
this is where you can
say.
Yeah. No, I'm being a real jerk about this, and I think we can really redeem your Star Tours experience with this transmission. I think go hard, go silly. You're on vacation. Have fun with it.
Now,
and I'm sorry I did this whole spiel. I feel like a jerk right now. So be yourself. Have fun out there.
Anyway, you're slacking, and I really think you should pick up the ball. Yikes, this is embarrassing for you, Sarah.
No, it's good.
Now, here's the deal. I don't have thoughts that happen in my brain, which means that I have not thought about this so far. High Republic, prequels, these are completely different time periods, completely different people. If we're doing the transmission, that might make me want to think ahead to what planets I'm going to pick here. But now that I have the first pick, I'm going to have the last original trilogy pick. So it's complicated. But my pick for the transmission, they're going to send us on a new mission. They're going to take us somewhere else. Now, this is a Star Tour for Sarah. And so our transmission is going to be from none other than the queen herself, love of my life, Rose Tico. Okay. Why not? And she's going to be like, hey guys, I see that you've been enjoying Life Day. That's awesome. I love Life Day too. But we've kind of got some stuff going on in other parts of the galaxy that we need your attention to because you are smart and awesome and cool. And I want to be your bestie. And so that's going to bring us to other places. But I don't want to, jump the gun and tell you what those are so you can take my planets.
I love a good Star Tours transmission turned Kelly Marie Tran positive affirmation moment. I love that.
Good.
I'm all
here
for it.
that.
Yeah.
You just say, where do you want to go, Rose? We're going wherever you want.
Rose, this is about you, girly. Let's go.
You, girl.
She's the love of my life. I really do love her. So
I'm going to go with the classic here, and I'll explain why. I'm going to choose Yoda for my transmission because
lame.
So far it has been a little chaotic. We've seen Marchion Rowe, his legs spread very, very wide. That makes you rethink the laws of physics. Physics just don't exist in Star Wars anymore. Bombs don't drop. Legs don't spread that wide. I don't know.
Okay.
We went to Planet X. Very scary. Utapau was pretty scary. We saw a burnt corpse there in the form of General Grievous. So we're like, Yoda, we need your help, Yoda. Please.
Brad, I am not signing up for your trip. We've gone to the, I don't want to go.
Yoda, help us. And then Yoda's transmission is just...
And he says no.
Help you don't need. You are fine. And he's just like, yeah, you just deal with it. And we're all like, no, we need your help. Look, it's obvious. The signs are right in front of you. And Yoda's like, no, finest think I must. And then
he works for the travel agency.
Yeah.
He really doesn't want a bad review. He's like, no, it's
Yeah.
great. You got a really good deal on this.
You're like, Yoda,
Please.
I need to change my ticket right now. He's like, $400 change fee. I will charge you. And you're just like, come on, guy.
Yeah, and when the world needs him most, he'll vanish.
Exactly. So that's my lore. That's my lore. Tommy, you made me think of the lore. That's what I'm going with.
Imagine if Yoda did a timeshare presentation. That would get me. And then you don't even know if you're saying yes or no to it by the end of it. Because what's he even saying,
Right.
You know, the worst part about all this is he will delete any record of the Star Tours ride after the Star Tours ride is over, so he can't be sued. That's
right. And then if it's not in the Jedi archive, then it certainly doesn't exist.
Does not exist. Yep.
And then if you go to his office, like, hey, where's Yoda? He's like, I don't know who that is. And then he hits you with a stick because he does that little bit that he likes to do. He's like, I don't know who it is. I'm not Yoda. I'm just a guy who lives here. Yeah.
And he'll also and you'll be like
coming off.
Yeah, but I have a complaint about this, and he'll be like, figure it out.
Yeah.
Think about it. Work on it on your own and come back.
So true.
Tommy, who are you picking for your transmission?
So this is where I really use my master's degree in creative writing.
Okay.
So my transmission is going to be Jabba the Hutt. But it's the Jabba we all know and love. But the problem is that he's between space-time. He comes on the transmission and he's saying, hey, I'm at risk of not existing. Did you see that guy from the beginning? He's threatening my existence, like kind of like a Marty McFly kind of situation. Like you have to go and murder him so I can exist and the Star War can happen.
Right.
Because in this world, we only know about the original trilogy at this point now. We don't even know about the prequel. So we're like, oh God, like that first movie was pretty good. We got to make sure the other two happen. I heard the fifth one's going to be pretty crazy. So what we have to do is go and murder Jabba the guy so Jabba the Hutt can exist in the timeline. And then Star Wars happens. So it's kind of the ultimate Star Tours experience because in a sense, you are killing a man to create the franchise that you love so much.
Wow.
Well, not only would Jabba the guy or Jabba the Hutt disappear, but all the riders would disappear as well. Because if there's no Star Wars, there's no Star Tours. So do all of the riders just like fall to the ground because it just disappears?
We all become Hutts if we don't do it, and no one wants to be a Hutt. That's the real threat.
You're super real for saying that. Yeah.
This is giving me like really big, like Loki time slipping vibes. Like Jabba's like time slipping. He's like, I gotta help. And then he just like disappears, like Loki just like,
Yeah, no, people don't know this, but in Star Wars canon, Hutts and humans are two sides of a coin. So if anything happens to affect the time stream, everyone who's a human becomes a Hutt and every Hutt becomes a human. And that's what happened with the original Jabba the Hutt character. So after the initial movie came out, the time stream was affected, probably because of toy sales. I don't know, but that changed everything, and now we got Jabba the Hutt as a big blubbery freak, and that's the freak that gives me the transmission. Is to sum that up. So to take Brad's role here and jump into my next spot. Sorry, Brad, I'm the host now. We have to go to Tatooine to kill the initial guy. We're going back to the start.
I'm not going on yours either if I have to go to the Sand Planet, guys. I'm only really paying for a ticket for my tour so far.
We're saving Star Wars on mine. So
I'm just like here for vibes, guys.
Anyways, I had to finish my story. So on Tatooine, we go and we do see a pod race because I promised myself that I would see one. And at the end, Jabba the guy is in his little view thing at the top, whatever, like the little balcony that he has that they had in the movie, and you shoot him in the head. You get out. They give you a bazooka. They give you a real gun. It's not even a blaster. They give you a real gun. They say, "There he is. Fix
Get
this."
him? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And one on the screen, one child comes up.
Here you go.
It just says, instead of saying Rebels Fight, it just says hero. And you give that kid a gun and he kills a man on vacation. And then everyone else waits inside. You hear the gunshot. He comes back on.
Guys.
He comes back onto the Star Speeder. Changed. He's a new person now. He's been changed by this moment. He gives the gun back to the pilot and he sits down. And then the whole thing is just quiet as you take off again.
It's very quiet until the very awkward jump to hyperspace.
100%.
I don't feel good about this one. I don't feel good about this one. I'll be real with you.
We just saved Star Wars.
I don't know.
I love how committed we are to our lore here. This is wild.
You gotta commit to the lore.
Yeah. Wow. Like Sarah's got the really wholesome journey. I've got the really chaotic Yoda help us no thanks moment. And then Tommy's on a journey to like save the multiverse and Star Wars and make sure that we all don't become Hutts.
I'm truly just here for vibes. So
I'm on another level.
I don't know.
Yeah. But like there's 3 distinct themes at least. So like that we're all like differentiating it quite a bit here.
I'm here to make money. I think people are gonna go for the vibes. Like visit your favorite Star Wars planet. Visit Sarah's favorite Star Wars planets. I mean, who doesn't want to do that?
Get complimented by Rose.
Exactly. Think about it. This is exactly what I want in life. I don't need anything else. Anyway, Brad, I think you have an original trilogy planet
I need to pull it together. I need to pull it together here.
He's not doing well, guys.
I'm gonna die of laughter. Speaking of murder, I am going to go just on the chaos train. We're going to Jeddah. And we're going to Jeddah, and we're like, wow,
I guess
a nice desert planet. This is kind of a nice change of pace. I mean, I guess we were just on Utapau, but like this is kind of like more of a desert planet.
Like a lot of like
what a beautiful day
colors in yours.
A beautiful day on Jeddah. Oh, why is it so dark all of a sudden? Oh, look, the sky. There's an eclipse happening. What is that? And then boom, nice. Death Star, single fire ignition. Shit starts hitting the fan. You are flying through on your Star Tours ride like Cassian Andor and K2, trying to escape. Things are going down. You hear vaguely in the distance, save the rebellion, save the dream. And you're like, who the hell is that? Who is that guy? You don't know who it is, but you know he's dead. And you got to get
clear
out
his throat.
So yeah, that's my next stop. That's my next stop.
And just to make it clear, everyone survives in this situation. Not
everybody
the people
does
on Jeddah.
survive.
Everyone on the Star Tours. Okay, good.
You could
good
have a really dramatic moment, like another dust moment where like the door like dust flies again. Open because it's like kind of like a tornado and like a guest just gets sucked out the door.
Ooh. So Brad does a 4D adventure that includes a lot of dust, which is really appealing to the viewer because everybody loves, sand. Everybody huge fans,
Yeah.
Brad, I see your Jeddah and I raised you better Jeddah. You land on the beach where Cassian and oh God, what's her name?
That better Jeddah, Jin.
I forget. I was like Jared. You land. Cassian and Jin are on the beach and they're hugging, and then they see you and they say, "Wait, help us, let us on." And the doors are jammed. Oh no! So you watch as they are banging on the window, saying, "Let us in, let us in, let us in."
Guys,
bright light, darkness. You're just floating in space now.
And who's jamming the doors? It's Tony Gilroy in the back messing with the wires.
It's like we need plot.
Anyway, back to the vibes tour that I find myself on. Yeah, we're talking murder. We're talking single fire ignition from the Death Star. I'm talking the beautiful mountains of Alderaan. Wow. Everything is fine. No Death Star around.
When are we on Alderaan?
Much prior to the Death Star. No, there's not even a Death Star in anybody's mind. We don't have to worry about a Death Star. We're here to see maybe Leia do her trials. Maybe we're going to go visit the beautiful mountains and views. Maybe we attend a nice dinner with the Organas. Again, no Death Star thoughts are allowed.
Now, I have a question. Are you going? This is a simple answer to this, and I think you're going to say it. Do you have the knowledge of Star Wars when you're on Alderaan? Like, do you know you're on the doomed planet Alderaan? You like see like a family walk by and they're like happy to be existing.
You're talking about no, stop.
Okay.
You're talking about we have to time slip in out. We have to kill the guy in order to create the Star War. I'm just saying we exist out of time.
Gotcha.
Time. We don't have to worry about the timeline. We're just here for the vibes, and the vibes are like maybe a nice dinner on Alderaan. maybe like some hiking. Maybe
But
like
isn't there a part of you that wishes you could save them? Like that you had the knowledge that they were doomed?
out of time.
But,
I'm not
isn't
here
there,
for villainy.
Isn't there a part of you that wishes you could save them? That you just run through the streets saying, "Get off the planet, get off the planet," while you still can.
We exist out of time. See, this is all I'm saying. This is all I'm saying. Rose would have wanted. Well, here we go. We have a sequel planet to get to. The plot be plotting. Okay, this is where we're heading, and that is another just beautiful location, vibes, excellence, beauty, Octo. That's where we're headed. We're headed to Octo for the vibes and the beauty, but also to become incredible masters of the lightsaber. We're going to become Jedi. We're going to actually, we're not all going to become Jedi. You get to pick your own path. You're not forced into Jedihood, because as a woman, I don't know, I just feel a lot of feelings about the way that like women have to be associated with the Force in order to have power in the Star Wars universe. And you know, anyway, that's just like a feeling that I have, and that makes me feel conflicted about things. Love the Jedi, but also screw the Jedi. Lots of thoughts. So like if you want to train to be a Jedi, you can train to be a Jedi. Otherwise, you learn other skills, maybe some like Taekwondo, you know, maybe some other useful skills, blaster skills, that would help you in your battle. We're not battling anything. We're just training here. Again, the stakes so far are kind of low. Ito, he's sometimes a therapy droid. He's sometimes a torture droid. He pops up every once in a while. We don't want to hang out with him. Basically, we've realized his bad side. We're not going to hang out with him. Rose, we're just going to be besties with her because we're all like training together and we're hanging out. We get to go visit some beautiful places. We get to spend a holiday. Like, I just think the vibes are good. The Dalna situation, the vibes were bad, but we had to have a little action somewhere. With the Marta Rowe, thanks for nothing. So yeah. This is where the plot be plotting. Hey, we need you to come and train with the Resistance and with the Rebels. And we exist out of time, so all of your faves are there from all the eras, because why not? Thank you.
I love that. Wow. I will say I'm not going to lean towards Exegol or Kefbeer, because enough of that. I've had that combination one too many times.
Sexagol to you.
Sexagol. We go to Exegol and it's just all the Sith cultists doing their thing, creating babies. Anyways, yeah, we don't want to go there. We don't want to go to Sexagol. How are they reproducing is my question still. I need to know what is going on.
Edit that out.
Add it in.
No Sexagol on this trip. We are going to go, I was going to go one way and I might try to save that for later, hoping it doesn't get taken. I was going to do a little bit
I'm
of
gonna take it. Why not?
little bending, little bit. Oh, you want to challenge me here? Because you're going to be really upset. You sure about that? You sure you want me to do this?
No.
Okay.
Don't.
Okay. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
I really no, don't.
No, I'm going to do it. This
No.
might be the one.
Don't
I
do
can save
it.
this other sequel planet for maybe wild card.
Don't do it.
Related to the sequel era
Don't do it.
the wonderful show of Star Wars Resistance.
Fuck you.
Speaking of the lore of this trip, Tommy,
Dare you.
You challenged me.
How about the lore?
Dare you?
We started out the journey so freaking thirsty for Marchion Row, and we're like so thirsty, dying of thirst. And we are like, oh my God, we are quite literally parched this long into the journey. We've been to like Planet X, got dusted, very dusty.
There's a lot of dust in this.
We went to Utapau. Utapau's got a very dry climate.
Right you know I'm here for the vibes, and this is a great vibes planet, and you are just taking that from me.
Jeddah is not only it's a very dry planet, it's a very destroyed planet now. So we got to make our way over to Castellon so that
tomato.
Although it does not appear in the sequel trilogy, appears adjacent to the sequel trilogy in the sequel trilogy era, as Star Wars Resistance does take place alongside Force Awakens and Last Jedi. We're going there. We're gonna crash in the water. We're gonna take out our. I always wanted to go down like one of those fun like plane slides. Not like the actual like disaster of a plane crash. I just want to go down one. So we
when you're on a plane, you can ask them to go down the slide when you get off. No, don't do it.
I'm gonna do that. I'm going on a trip in a couple weeks. Yeah. I'm gonna ask them in a couple weeks. Yeah. So we're gonna have one of those. We're gonna like sit with Bebo's mom. She's gonna come out. We're gonna have like a really like fun play date. Where we're all just like hanging out with the Bebos. And we're going to drink a lot of water while we're here because we're just like, it's been a while since Marchion. We've seen Marchion. It's to make sure we are hydrated, take our pee breaks, because no more pee breaks until the end of the ride. And we can also stop at the Colossus. The Colossus is there too. Why not? We'll go see Anzi. We'll go to her bar. This is a really like, we needed to stop and like sit in the moment here because we've been through the ringer this far on our journey. So that's my stop.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Sorry, Sarah.
That's fine.
I know. I was gonna do a different planet, and then you kind of like, you're like, I'll take it, and I was like, I'll take it then. And I knew it was gonna be Castellon.
We aren't friends anymore. This is just Alone in the Force, starring Brad. Have fun doing episodes by yourself.
Sure. Yeah. Tommy.
Yeah.
Sequel planet. What are you thinking?
So I was gonna do oh god, what is it? Cantonica? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was gonna do that because casino, all that
Vibes.
jazz. But
Yeah.
I know Rose wouldn't want me to do that, and we're all about whatever Rose wants to. So I'm thinking, I think it's pronounced Takadana.
Takadana. Yeah.
Yeah. Because in the lore, what happened was the kid from our ship, he cowered. He couldn't do it. He shot to the sky like Hamilton.
Oh no.
Yeah. So we found out on the way back. He just starts crying. He says, "Guys, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it." And we're all like, "The time stream, kid, you've doomed us all." And he's crying. And we're like, "That kid's staying." We put him in the corner. So then we all start to hatch a plan. We say, "Where does Jabba the guy hide out?" And we think, who would know? But Maz Kanata would know. So we got to go visit her castle. We got to say, "What's up, Maz? Where does Jabba the guy hang?" And she says, "Probably on a TV planet that's either animated or live action that we'll get to later." And I say, that's really cool. That's good to know, Maz. And then we all kind of chill. I touch a lightsaber, have a vision, no big deal. And then we leave. And that's our sequel planet.
Yeah. Okay. I see the vision.
Yeah.
Is this the
vision.
point?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is this the point in the ride where like some guests on the ride are starting to get like features of Jabba the Hutt? So like one guest grows a tail because we didn't kill Jabba the Hutt. So like, like in the Disney movie, like the Disney movies where like people are starting to turn like to the, like, oh, it's not the stroke of midnight yet.
One guy eats a mouse hole while like tears are streaming down his face. Like, I don't want to do this. And he just, no, it's happening. Things are going down. I look great though. I look awesome the whole time.
The metamorphosis is happening.
I'm the hero. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I know it's coming. Maybe I start like I have a lower voice all of a sudden, and it sounds really good, but I got to change it back. It's not who I am.
There's an urgency here because once you fully transform, you only speak Huttese, and nobody understands Huttese. So then we're like all screwed because we're humans. We only know basics. So it's a bad time for everybody.
True.
Yeah.
Wow.
So true.
Wow. The lore really be loring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy, we're in the TV category.
Oh, yeah, it's me immediately. Hold on.
This can be animated.
He's like, I have no thoughts about this.
Live action, shorts, whatever you want it to be.
But it can't be Castellon because Brad is mean.
But it has to be where Jabba the guy is hiding. And
you can't pick Tatooine again, which is in the book of Boba Fett. So
that would make no sense though, because he ran away. We would have went to Maz Kanata for nothing.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So he went to. There's none of these are funny objectively. I've dug myself a hole here.
There are other planets that are on that list that have appeared in TV, which you can use.
That is true.
Like Clone Wars, Rebels, Resistance, because Clone Wars has a lot of prequel planets still.
What's the planet? It's the planet that they're on in Ahsoka, actually. The one that has, I don't know if it's the same planet.
Peridia?
Is that the one where they go to in Clone Wars too? Or is it just implied that with the statues? Have we got confirmation?
Well,
are there just statues
Clone Wars, there? Yeah. Well, we're thinking it's Mortis. We think Peridia is like the Mortis planet. Potentially.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm picking Mortis then. That's the one where they go to in the show, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Jabba the guy, he's a weirdo. He's immediately like, I'm going to the top. I gotta speak to the Force here. I heard they're pretty cool. They're gonna help me out. So he actually made a deal with the Force to exist in the first place. He's actually the chosen one.
Oh my gosh.
It's not Anakin, it's him. The Force created him to kind of rewrite how the world would work. Specifically, what is it? The Son? Is that the evil one? The Son was like, we got to change things up. I want to win in the end. I made a guy, and the guy is Jabba the guy. He's going back. He's like, you have to protect me. We show up. We park the car. We give the same kid the gun again, and we say,
Not again.
Time to own up, which I'll name him later. And we push him out. We hear a single gunshot. Everyone turns back to their normal selves. My voice drops back to where it was, but it raises up to where it was, but it still sounds pretty good. And then that's it. We cheer him. We tell him he's a hero. He says, "I've grown from this," and then he sits back down and just kind of looks forward for the rest of the time.
I just like I have to interject with something I just realized, and that's that my drink that I've been drinking this whole time has caffeine in it, and that is specifically not what I wanted to do at 7 p.m.
Looks like we're going for a few more hours. Let's do it.
Right. So prepare for this podcast to be the 5-hour podcast, and nobody's allowed to leave.
Your last planet's about to get crazy. I can feel it.
You're gonna make up a planet.
You just wait over what my last planet actually is. You'll laugh. Okay. Nobody take it.
Tommy, you're really inspiring me with your storytelling here as a comic book writer yourself, and I really want to like evolve the story very drastically. So our next planet,
even more dramatically than dust, a lot of dust. Okay.
Our next planet is Aldhani from Andor, and not only is it just any time of the year on Aldhani, it's the eye of the Aldhani, and so we get there and we're like, oh my god, we have quenched our thirst. No murder happening on this thing. Vibes are good, but there's a catch here, because with the eye of the Aldhani comes what I will call the Star Wars universe's version of the Illuminati. And it's anybody who has to do with something named the Eye. And who is the Eye? Who is the Eye of the Nile? It's Marchion Ro. Marchion Ro is back.
Get out.
He is here with his cult.
Spread beyond belief.
Spread. His legs are backwards. They're so spread.
He's coming in taint.
It's like when you go on that machine at the gym that you have to like spread your legs, and your legs have just gone all the way back.
Like that.
They're broken.
I'm gonna go on podcasts with only women in the future. I cannot.
Marchion Ro is here.
Where has the plot gone?
It's a secret meeting of bad people and bad people and good people, from a certain point of view. And
like, what's our agenda here? We all just have eyes. Why are we here?
And Marchion Ro goes, "Hey, that's them. Get them." And then it starts this whole chase sequence.
I like the idea that he was like, "Guys, no, wait. I wanted you to join my eye club. You all have eyes. Come join my club." Then he joined his eye club.
And so away we go into the sky. The Eye of the Aldhani is happening. There's a lot of irony at play here. And we are just trying to enjoy the views with our eyes before we go. And then we jump to hyperspace, and that's it. That's the trip.
Yeah, except we have a wild card.
We have a wild card planet still. That's at least
don't conclude your trip now.
That's like the epilogue to our trip, Like we escaped Marchion Ro here. What is next? What's the post credits stinger?
Your end credits scene.
Yeah.
That brings us to me. Castellan. Who needs Castellan?
Yeah, who needs it?
Not me, because I have another trick up my sleeve. There's this little show called The Bad Batch. And on that show, there is a planet called Pabu. And I think that is where we will conclude our story. Now, we had a little bit of action, just like action adventure battle on Dalna. Bad day on Dalna. We have a life day adventure. We hear from Rose that we need to go train and go elsewhere in the galaxy. So we enjoy some time on Alderaan. Beautiful place, beautiful scenery. We go to Octo. Beautiful place, beautiful scenery. Training. What are we training for? To help the people of Pabu. They are in need. The waves, the whole situation. Right? So we're going to go. It's a beautiful water planet, as we recall. And we are going to help out and make sure that people are okay. And that's, we're going to be heroes in this story. There's no villainy. Ito maybe caused the waves. He turned on the wave machine.
Forgot about Ito.
I didn't until just now.
Whoa, he came out of nowhere.
He he turns on the waves on Pabu, which causes the problem. And then we go and we fix that because don't be a bad cop, like just be a therapy droid. That's what the people need. But if we can't do that, we will be the ones to save the day on Pabu.
Do you think the people of Downa who you just kind of flew past will be jealous?
Here's the thing.
I remember you specifically saying you were just going to fly past them.
Right. Well, there was a battle going on and we just were like, ooh, the Jedi have got this one. They kind of didn't have it, kind of a situation. Dalna, storied history there. Lots going on it's a small planet, right? Anyway.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You're on vacation.
Right. But then by the end of it, we figure it out, we get it together. But yeah, no, on Dalna, I think we didn't know who the commander was. We didn't know who to go to in order to like get marching orders on like how we can best help. And so we didn't.
That was before Rose.
Right. She really kind of put us on the right path and helped us, clear our minds and focus on what's important. And what was important is helping people. So that's why we go to Pabu.
Nice. And then you're on vacation, you post about it on social media like everyone does.
Yeah.
You gotta, yeah.
Well, we posted about Alderaan and Kashyyyk too. We had a nice Life Day celebration too. It's been a journey.
I love that.
It's not like a 20-minute, or a 3-minute ride. This is kind of serious.
You want a vacation that improves you, that makes you better by the end of it.
I feel like you're coming after my vibes vacation, but like I don't know. I feel like I'm getting attacked, but like you have time slipping murder. You have like
it's
a
awesome.
child.
It's the best.
You have a child murder. And
he's a man now. He committed murder.
Or he didn't commit murder because he couldn't do it.
He did. No, he did. He saved the universe.
Right. He saved,
yeah.
There's like child. This is not how I thought this was gonna go. But I'm just here for the vibes. But Marchion Ro, very manspreading. Guys, this is the best vacation of the 3 mine. Okay, that's all I have to say.
It's true.
Now, we have a wild card planet here. There are thousands of options. Where are we going to go? Where's the epilogue of this? And, we've been doing a couple of things here. We've been going to places. We didn't go to Dalna. We just kind of flew by Dalna. Sorry, Dalna. But we did go to Kashyyyk on Life Day. We did hang out on Alderaan. We did some hiking, all that jazz. Then we went to Ahch-To, of course, help the people of Pabu. Now, finally, we are going to go somewhere nobody expected. We're going to Chile. We're gonna end our story on it's CSIL. Get it right, Brad, on our Google Doc.
Call out.
Yep. And on Chile, it's a world that not a lot of people from our galaxy far, far away have been to. It's pretty much just the Chiss who hang out there. It's kind of underground, right? Because they don't want people to know, whatever. I've decided we're gonna go there and we're gonna learn more about their culture, specifically their politics. We just like an all-around political thing. I'm just curious, we're just like learning. That's like the vibes. No plot, just learning. That's really it. Again, I think this is an excellent trip. I would buy a ticket. I also made it so there's like a little bit of personal bias there, but I don't want to go on these guys. Their trips is a little yikes. Dust from dead people, and also the sands of Jeddah, which become dead people after single fire ignition. We've got murder and like multiple Jabba the Hutts. Like that's a lot for me. So let's not do that.
There's only one Jabba the Hutt. I have to make that clear.
Yeah. But there's also a Jabba the guy.
Yeah, but we took care of him. There's only one.
There's multiple people named Jabba.
Okay, well, yeah, it's fair. That's fine.
And that's like more than I need,
People can have the same name.
Yeah, but there's a time loop happening here. That there's too many components for me to figure that out.
I gotcha.
Yeah, we don't want a time slip.
Right.
Okay. As long as you're good, Sarah, I'm gonna choose my wild card here if you're good.
I'm not
anything
good.
else to add.
I'm still mad.
Not good. Yeah.
Now you're
I'm gonna take that
fine,
one away.
Brett.
I'm gonna be thrilled about it. My post credit zinger / wildcard planet. It's gonna be a classic because we've been through a lot. We just barely escaped Marchion Row. It has meeting of the eyes at the Eye of Eldani. We are going to Endor, and this is the post credit stinger where we sort of crash in the Endor forest and the Ewok village. And out come a bunch of Ewoks. And at first we think they're going to eat us because, Ewoks try to do that to Luke and Han. But it turns out that they're putting together a team. And out comes an Ewok with dressed like Nick Fury. And he wants to put together a big crew to take down Marchion Row, because Marchion Row's got the levelers, right? It's like this big thing, this big threat that we don't know how to take care of, just like Thanos. Nick Fury had to put together the Avengers. Nick Fury-esque Ewok.
Okay.
It's actually just Wicket in a trench coat with a fake eye patch. Just for the meme.
Right.
He is there and he's like, we're putting together
Wick Fury.
Wick Fury. Yes.
I need to interrupt you.
Yes, there we go.
Right.
See, that's why you're the funny guy here and I'm the dumbass who didn't think of that.
Oh, this is great.
It's so good. It's so good. Wick Fury is here and it's just Wicket cosplaying for Halloween. And Wick Fury says, I need all of you Star Tours to help us take down Marchion Row and the Leveler. And that is setting up the Avengers Endgame equivalent in the Star Wars galaxy, where it's all Ewoks versus all Nameless, and they duke it out in the next big movie. That's the end of Star Tours.
I have a question that I think is going to determine the listeners' vote here, actually, on who has the best Star Tour. Yub Nub or Victory Celebration will be playing over this sequence. You pick. Choose wisely.
It's gonna be Yub Nub. We're going classic. We're going classic.
Okay. All right. I think you'll find, some lovers of that choice and some haters of that choice. So we'll see how it shakes down for you. So
we'll see. Tommy, what is your wild card? Your zinger here for your Star Tours ride?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to Dathomir because I think I can cheer them up. I think
I can fix them, says Tommy.
I think I can fix them collectively. Like Maul. Let's see. Maybe Maul, get a hobby. Maybe learn a craft. Maybe join a club. The Night Sisters, I don't know. Figure that out. It's not my problem. But yeah, I know. I think I'll go to Dathomir. Just kind of like maybe like host a stand-up comedy show for them. Like just cheer them up. It's not for me. I wouldn't do it. I don't know jokes, but I would get
Tommy's literally never told a joke in his life.
I would get Dane Cook to go to Dathomir. We'd have fun. We would cheer him up. There would be a different planet by the time we left. Much cheerier planet.
It's like a comedy fundraiser to raise money for the traumatized child who had to commit murder.
Yeah, and also find out what the heck Marok was. That's my main concern, I think. What was the fart cloud guy? Get answers, get laughs, just, end it on a high note.
I love the idea of trying to do stand-up comedy in front of Marin. Like, she's just like, ha ha, very funny. I love that. I love that so much.
Just kills you.
She just takes her witch magic and slams you against the wall. She goes, not again. No more jokes. Love it. Okay. Right. We have a last two silly categories here, so these should be pretty quick. So first up is the name of the 8-year-old child spy. Tommy, this is the one of yours that committed the murder.
Yes, and this is going to be controversial.
Cleanse the sin done to the Nameless. Give him a name.
Her name is Sarah, and she's on this call. Surprise, Sarah. You've been on my ride the whole time.
Sarah is now realizing this is part of her past, and she just remembered it. She's like, wait, I was there. I was there in 1987 on that Star Tours ride. I did
the final plot twist. You killed Jabba the guy and saved the universe. You're the one who's been against it this whole time. And I think that's why you've been against it. Because it was your past and it's coming back to you, and it's so visceral that you can't accept that it was you. And now I'm telling you it was you. I'm sorry.
And so now I have to face that fact.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a good reaction to this. This is quite a twist. I
know.
I mean, I guess it explains the vibes,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to live a peaceful life, and after everything that happened, it was really traumatic, and I had kind of locked that all away. So thanks for bringing it up, Tommy, on the pod. That's just so nice of you.
Sorry. And I'm sorry for misgendering you before when I kept calling you a boy. I didn't just think of this. I forgot. Sorry. This wasn't a thing I just thought of.
Gender this, gender that.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not a whatever.
Who cares?
All right. Brad, so you're next. I'm last.
The name of my child spy is Ben. First name Ben.
Does he have a last name?
Last name Bert.
Uh-oh.
It is Ben Burt as a kid. He is on the Star Tours ride, and the whole time it's because for the little bit of the Star Tours ride, the sound went out, and so he was just sitting there in the audience, just making noises for everybody. They're like, "Oh my god, who is this kid? He's like a child prodigy of sound effects." And that's what inspired him to grow up to, make some stuff. I don't know if that really works in the timeline of the events here and why Star Tours exists if Ben Burt's a child, but maybe he got shrink rayed or something and he became a kid again. I don't know. It felt right. That's
such a good answer. I didn't Google that at all. Great answer, Brad.
the changing light on your face,
No.
Yeah.
I'm just doing that. I like to look at different colors on my screen sometimes. It keeps me awake.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, Ben Burt's imagination has been tapped here. Very excited for him.
Beautiful. That's so special. I saved the Star Wars. Ben Burt made the sound effects, and
what sound did he give to Marchian's leg spreading?
It's like a
Brad,
squelching. It's like a squelching noise.
It's a little wet.
It's like
we don't need to be doing this.
Wait, hold on. Everyone be quiet. Brad, can you hit us with that noise? Right, Brad, bring it in. Stop laughing. Take it easy.
This is going to be the podcast's last episode at this rate.
We need a clean cut of the leg spreading noise from Brad. That legendary sound guy that I Googled, Brett Burt, created on the ride. Right. Well, I'll count you in, Brad. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Did I get it? Did I get it? Okay.
It's not coming through. I think it's. Can you do it louder? It's not coming through.
Oh my god! My
I
mic's
love how
too
the
good.
The microphone is doing the Lord's work right now and sparing us all from whatever is coming out of Brad's mouth.
Just imagine stepping. It's very muddy outside, and you put your foot in the mud. That's the sound it made.
That's the worst thing you could ever have said. Like, why did we start this? Why are we here right now? Like, come on.
Better yet, or it's either that, or it's the sound that Yoda's nails make in Revenge of the Sith when he goes down. It's because Marchian's really just he hasn't stretched, so when he opens his legs, it's just like.
Brad, I recognize that like I am a literal character on Tommy's. And so I have to go on that ride, but I am not buying a ticket if the Yoda nail sound is in yours. I'm sorry. I already said I wasn't buying a ticket, but now I'm really serious about it.
Yeah.
Sounds like I'm winning.
Clearly at this point. But we're still here for the vibes. I haven't lost the plot being vibes, for my trip. And my spy is going to be an untraumatized, just before anything ever happened to him, Will Lark. It's gonna be Will Lark. He's just a guy, and he deserves good things in this world. And I just want to show him some nice planets, not in wartime. Sorry about Dalna. That was kind of a little bit of wartime, but I just want
to ease him into it. He only knows war. Yeah.
It was really nice on Polyneus, right? Like before he had to go and become a pilot in the rebellion, and then he saw some stuff, and then he grew a beard by the third book, and that's how he saw some stuff, And I think he deserves a nice vacation, and that's why we're bringing him to Alderaan and Kashyyyk for Life Day and Octo to learn some skills with the Z. And Babu to help some people, because that's kind of his vibe. So yeah, 8-year-old Will Lark. He's a good guy.
Now, is 8-year-old Will Lark also your pilot? Which is our last question here. Is that the twist?
No.
Because he is a pilot. No?
No, I have a really exciting pilot.
Who would that be?
His name is Bucket. Bucket is our pilot.
Buckets of blood?
No, not Buckets of Blood.
Okay.
Bucket the droid.
Oh, from Resistance. Okay.
From Resistance.
Okay.
Get with it, jeez.
Listen, because my pilot is Buckets of Blood, that's why I got a little worried. A little
You know
worried.
what? Just kidding. It's Buckets of Blood. Torben
No,
Buck, he's
you've
our
already
pilot.
chosen.
Screw you, Brad.
Already chosen.
No, I mean, I if this was really, I thought in the tradition of Rex, you know, being a droid, I wanted to put a droid character in the pilot's chair, and I just think Bucket is a little legend, so he'll be my pilot. And if he ever needs like a day off, it's gonna be Niku, of course. So they're just like good vibes dudes, you know?
Yeah. No, it's a good choice. Bucket is an underappreciated droid. But yeah, my pilot is Buckets of Blood, and specifically him just being like,
blood.
Buckets of Blood says we're going to Endor. Buckets of Blood says we're going to Utapau. You know, he's just like announcing it every time. He's like, Buckets of Blood.
Every
Look at those
time I-
thighs.
There's like
Every
maybe a
time-
cameo from like Daniel Jose Older on the ride. He's just like, Buckets of Blood. You know, they're all just saying it like,
You
a
know,
lot.
you could have made Daniel your transmission,
My pilot?
but you didn't.
Oh, okay.
So that's on
Yeah.
you.
That is
Not
that is
going
on
on
me.
your trip.
That is on me. Yeah. But that's my pilot. Tommy, who's your last pilot? Wrap us up here.
I don't want to say Daniel.
Could be Daniel. It's buckets
such a-
adjacent. We could have like a bucket theme going for the pilot.
Ooh, yeah. My pilot is just a bucket.
I love that.
think,
Is that like the next movie where it's like, oh my god, if we don't kill the fake bucket, then we're all going to turn into buckets, and this is the bucket that's here to tell us about that
yeah.
threat.
Please
that
don't
oncoming threat.
spoil it. Please don't spoil it. I think
Bucket the guy.
my like I want to go obscure with it and just do like a random kind of background character vibe. No, I want to do what's that guy's name? Yowza, the one that yells. It's What's his name, right?
Oh,
In Rogue One?
Return of the Jedi.
No, in Return of
Oh.
the Jedi.
My bad.
Yowza.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm talking
Joe
about, Rogue
Joe
One, though?
Wowza. Yeah,
Joe
no, Joe
Yowza.
Yowza.
Okay. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Added to the special edition in 1997.
yeah, and I think it works well for him because he was also added in the special editions.
Right.
So it gives him like saving special edition Jabba, because that's essentially what we're doing in the end as well. He that gives him purpose, you know. He wants to pilot us on this adventure to save special edition Jabba, because he sees himself in special edition Jabba as another CGI freak that was added in the 90s. So I think he's doing it. He tries to sell us his CDs afterwards, which is something that happened to me when I went to Hollywood and took a tour of the stars' homes. The driver tried to sell us his opera CDs afterwards.
Beautiful.
That's me putting my own spin on it. So yeah, the whole time he's just yelling. We're all confused. When we park on Tatooine, he gives Sarah the gun, and we're like, "Where'd you get that gun from?" And he goes, "Had it."
Had it.
and yeah, no, and that's our pilot. He does a really good job. And then at the end, he sings a song in Dathomir, and it's really nice.
As
Wow.
part of the comedy charity.
It's
for
a
Sarah.
nice ending to your story. Yeah.
That's really nice. Yeah,
Nice.
for
Yeah.
a story that had a lot of murder, that's like a nice
It's-
icing on the cake.
I mean, Star Wars has its murder, but in the end, it is about hope. And I think my Star Tours in the end is about hope. You know, people
Yeah.
went through a lot. Sarah
Me?
killed a guy.
I
but
went
we
through a
all-
lot.
Sarah killed a guy, but we all know that one day she's gonna go on her Star Tours trip where she'll find hope.
That's right.
And then in 20 years, she'll go on another Star Tours trip where she kills a guy again. But that's Star
Because
Wars
is
for
that
ya.
what the time loop, or is that Star Tours 2 that we haven't plotted out yet?
when Disney buys your movie franchise, that's your sequel
Right.
trilogy.
Yeah.
Right. And
It's like
and
poetry.
I'm a legend, to some, but I'm a real girl,
Mhm. And then a lot of guys online would be like, they got Sarah's character wrong in the new movies. That's not my Sarah. Sarah would
Not
never
my
do
Sarah.
that.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sarah didn't even have a gun in the new movies. They nerfed Sarah. She's so weak.
They didn't
Like,
even show
it
the
all
training
did.
sequence of how Sarah knows how to even shoot the gun.
Where did she
so
even get the
Sarah.
gun from?
You're so
How
real
did-
for saying all of that.
Jeez.
The reality though is that I was thrust into this narrative with no authorial control. And I'm finally taking that for myself under the Temple franchise that has given me a lot of money to exist again. And I've decided that I'm a pacifist in this new era. So, but that's the reality is that's who I was all along. So, yeah, that's the beauty of it.
Okay, so just to recap before we close out here. So Tommy has Jabba the Guy as the villain. We're going to Vint, Lothal, transmission from time-slipping Jabba, then to Tatooine with some murder, Takodana, Mortis, Dathomir. Sarah is the 8-year-old spy, and Joe Yowzer is a pilot. For myself, we have Marchion Ro as the villain, Planet X, Utapau, Yoda being a dude, Jeddah, Castellan, Aldani, Endor, and then Bembert, small Bembert is the spy, and Buckets of Blood is our pilot. And then Sarah has the ITO droid as her villain. We're going to Dalna, Kashyyyk, Alderaan, Octo, Pabu, and Scylla. Rose Tico's getting a transmission with some good vibes, and Will Lark is the young spy. And the droid bucket is her pilot. So what I think we're going to do is like probably in a couple days, I might post this online and just like post an image of our selections and just have people vote on it. It'll probably get like 2 votes because, you know, Twitter algorithm does its thing.
Me and my mom both voting for me.
But, you know, we could put
I'll
the
vote
poll
for
up
you
for a day or two and just see who,
Yeah,
you know,
I've been
just spread it around and see who wants to vote on it. So we'll do that. I guess we'll just do that
Cool.
after a couple days.
And-
Mine will make perfect sense out of context. Don't any question that at all.
I'll exclude the murder
and the
part. People got to
winner
listen for
wins.
that fun stuff.
The
Right,
winner
that
wins everything. So the losers get nothing, and the winner wins everything. Definition of everything, anything you want it to be.
Wow.
That's
The winner gets to go on all 3 of our Star Tours.
Ooh.
I was okay. I'll lose. I don't want to go on Brad's.
Loser
like one of
has
those
to edit this
Nickelodeon game
podcast.
Ooh.
you get slimed either way.
I want to win.
Well, Tommy, thank you for embarking on this Star Tours journey with us, as silly and ridiculous as it has been, because I was not knowing what to expect. But we're just here for the vibes.
Gone on a journey.
This is good. This is good.
But before we wrap up here, I know you have a lot of stuff going on in your world, comic book wise, because you've written. So far, I've only had the chance to read The Days, which I know I got a Celebration edition, which I'm very fond of.
That's
from you in
actually
April.
worth quite a lot. That's worth like $2 or $3 now.
I figured, yeah.
Yeah.
Exclusive edition.
hold
it has
on
a
to
sticker
that.
with it too.
I'm actually going to keep mine around until it's worth about $350 before I try and kind of, you know, make
It's a
some profit
speculator's
on it.
market. You have to wait for that. Just don't let the bubble pop. Yeah.
So yeah, do you want to tell us a little bit about what you're working on, and just give you a little bit of time here to talk about your comics?
Sure. Hey everyone, my name's Tommy. I'm the guy that you heard talking before. Besides doing this thing, I also write comics. As Brad said, I did one called The Days, which was a sad one about a ghost. I also have one called At the End, which is a sad one about a little purple guy named Garf who finds out he's going to die at the end of the comic. It's super meta. He tries to make you not turn the page. Tons of fun. Makes a lot of people cry. My next one that's going to make people cry is it's called Mustn't Tell. It's a young adult horror series. It's going to be 5 issues. My pitch for it is if Disney Animation did a horror movie, it's going to have a lot of heart, a lot of jokes, mostly jokes, because that's all I really feel comfortable doing these days, but a few spooky scenes. I'm doing that one with an artist named John McDaniel, and who's going to be doing like 90% of the art. But then I had a fun idea where the monster and all the haunting scenes is going to be, the monster's going to be drawn by B.A. Routh, who did the Days with me. And he's also going to be like haunting the book. So he's going to add in like a bunch of fear effects. The idea is that it's supposed to look very different than the rest of the art. And I'm very excited. It's going to be on Kickstarter very soon. We just wrapped up the issue kind of a few days ago. We're still doing finishing touches. You can follow, hey reader, or hey listener, you can follow me on Twitter, Tommy_Stella, and I'll be posting about it there.
Very
Okay, awesome.
cool.
And we can include
Thanks, y'all.
some links too for the episode. So if anybody wants to like check out the Kickstarter,
Do.
other places that they can
Which
find your work,
do.
we'll include that. So
Cool.
get as many
Thanks,
eyes.
guys.
I reread the days this week in anticipation
God.
of this episode, and it put me in my feels, and I'm just like sad. So this brought it back up for me this episode.
Cool. I
It's
can send
great.
you a PDF of At the End if you'd like as well, so you can catch up on
Yeah.
that one.
Oh, for
Of
sure.
my Tommy Sad universe.
Yeah, I love that. The Tommy Sal universe. The
For a guy who's
TSU.
got a lot of jokes, why Tommy Sad universe?
Sometimes you gotta overcompensate for your emotional art by just saying a lot of silly nonsense, so people don't think you're just the sad guy. It's a lot of fun, you know. It makes you fun at parties.
Perfect answer.
Yeah.
I want to ask you real
Valid.
quick, like when did you start writing comics, or like when did you start deciding that you wanted to do this?
Yeah, I when I was in college, I did music, and I failed out of the music program. I am very bad at hearing notes and knowing what they are, which is apparently a big part of music. And on the same day that I failed out of the program, the teacher was like, "You're done, man." I had one English class that I took, and the teacher in that class, I handed in my final paper, which the teacher was cool. She was like, "Do whatever you want." So I did a short story, and she held me after class and she said, what the heck, man? And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Why'd you submit a plagiarized story?" And I was like, "I didn't. That's my short story." And she said, "Oh my God, are you an English major?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "You have to be an English major." So that all happened on the same day, which is pretty wild. So I switched over to English, and I was like, "I guess I'm going to be a writer." And I had already liked comics. So I was like, it was something in the back of my mind. And towards the end of college, I was like, "Oh, I think I'm going to be a comic writer. That could be so much fun." And I started looking up job applications for Marvel to just be a comic writer. And then I learned that's not how that works, which was sad to learn. I was like, I have my resume ready and all that stuff. So then after I graduated, I was immediately just trying to find ways to do that, because I really just like the creative act of like working with someone. Like I've tried doing novels, short stories are fun, but like there's just nothing beats like working with an artist that you really connect with and just creating like a world, like just having like writing something down and then like 2 days later it's visualized. Like it's so cool. I highly recommend it if anyone's a creative that needs like something to keep them going through it, because it's like just having another person there with you working on it is like just a whole nother level. So yeah, now I'm rambling now, but yeah, it was because I failed music. That's where it started.
I understand the failing music thing. Not for myself. I'm a prodigy.
Of course.
Right. But my dad failing music is the reason that I'm in choir, or like joined choir as a kid. Which is a weird thing, but he was in the freshman band for 3 out of the 4 years in high school, and then he like met my middle school choir director and thought she was like, she's a good teacher, and then he put me in choir. So
gotcha.
Yeah, but no, hearing the notes is a real thing.
I am the most musically uninclined person
It's
you
rough.
could think of. I couldn't hit a note for my life on an instrument
really
or
good
with my
sound
voice.
effects, though.
Yeah,
You do really good sound effects.
you know,
That's what
I won't do the
matters.
Yoda impression.
Yeah.
It makes Sarah
Thank
annoyed.
you.
Yeah, I did it one too many times this episode.
There's other impressions that I like less than Yoda, so Yoda was okay.
Yeah.
Brad, can you close us out with another attempted rendition of Martian's leg spreading?
Oh God, no.
No, we were past that.
We've already lost the
we
listener.
as a society had moved
This
on.
has
like,
been Friends of the Force. Thanks for listening. Take us away, Brad.
Tommy's
Tommy,
like,
thank
end this
you.
episode. I need to go.
Tommy, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. And
I'm
again,
never
you have
coming
a lot of
back,
stuff coming
says
out.
Tommy.
Anything else that you didn't talk about that you want to promote, or is that you had like your
Keep an eye out for that
comics?
Kickstarter. Follow me on Twitter. I have low self-esteem. I need followers. Like my tweets. It gives me purpose. I think that's it. Watch Star Wars. It's a pretty cool movie. I have nothing to do with it, but I've heard it's good. And keep listening to this podcast, person who listens to this podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you come back next week. I won't be here, but I'm sure it's gonna be good. And
We're
keep
not
cool.
putting Tommy on the schedule again. I'm kidding.
that would be fair. But yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Tommy. We appreciate it. Thank you, listener, for tuning into this episode. You can find us on all of our socials, Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, whatever, wherever you want to follow us, and leave a review if you enjoyed the episode, and follow us on the podcast platform of your choice. And we also have a Patreon. Sarah, you want to take us out with our patrons who make
we
the
are
show
super
happen.
grateful to patrons who help to keep the lights on. And by that, I mean our website running and the Zoom hosting. I am grateful for all of you. And thank you, everyone who joined us on this exceptionally chaotic, twist-right, turny, lots of surprises, Star Tours adventure. You got 3 Star Tours for the price of 0 Star Tours. So congratulations. You're winning.
Thank you all again. Thanks, Tommy, once more. And for all of you listening, the adventure continues next week. And until then, may the force be with you always.
Bye.